Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, let us continue our study on the cell organelles of eukaryotic cell. Yes, let us continue our study on the one more cell organelle, that is plastids. So plastids are the membrane bound cell organelles. So these cell organelles are not present in animal cell. They are present in plant cell as well as they are found in euglenoids. So in plant cells and also in euglenoids we can found the presence of plastids. So euglenoids, we know they are the dual natured organisms, comes under the Protista kingdom. So why they are called as dual organisms? Because when they are able to get the sunlight, sufficient amount of sunlight, they act as an autotrophic organism. So in order to prepare their own food material, they consist of cell organelle. So those cell organelles are similar with the cell organelle structure in the plant cell. So those cell organelles are nothing but plastids. So what kind of plastids we can see in the plant cell? Similar kind of plastids are also found in euglenoids. They help in photosynthesis. Clear? And these plastids consist of pigments imparting specific color to the plants. So we can see the plants are very colorful. So the flowers are colorful, then the leaves are colorful. So this color to the plant is actually given by the pigments in plastid. So plastids are the membrane bound cell organelle. They consist of certain pigments in order to impart specific color to the plants. Based on the presence or absence of pigments and the type of pigments, they are actually classified. So in the plastids we have different types of plastids. So these classifications are done based on the presence or absence of the pigments and based on the type of pigments. And what are those types? So actually the plastids are classified into three different types. So one of the type is chloroplast and another one is chromoplast and the third one is leucoplast. So these three are the types of plastids can be seen in plants. Let us study about each one of the type. Let us have a look into the chloroplast. So chloroplast is one of the type of plastid. So what kind of color it is giving to the plant? So chloroplast consists of two types of pigment. One is chlorophyll pigment and another one is carotenoids. So these two pigments are responsible for trapping sunlight, so that they are very essential for the process of photosynthesis. So children, we know the green plants, they need of some of the raw material in order to synthesize their own food. So the process helps in the synthesis of food is called as photosynthesis. The plant need sunlight and it need water, mineral in order to prepare its own food material. So sunlight is very essential. So in order to trap the sunlight, the plant cell consists of the pigments. So these pigments are actually located in one of the cell organelle called as chloroplast. So the pigment present in the chloroplast is chlorophyll and carotenoid pigments. So these two pigments are responsible for trapping the sunlight, so that they are very essential for the process of photosynthesis. You can find in the diagram. So this is the actual structure of chloroplast in the plant. So it is having its own membrane, specific membrane is present, and within the membrane we can see stalk like structure. So the many coins are stalked above one another, so in order to form a structure of granum. So these actual structures consist of pigments for trapping the sunlight. And the one more cell organelle, that is chromoplast. So chromoplast is a kind of another kind of plastid. What do you mean by this chromoplast? Chromo is nothing but color. So this plastid actually imparting different color to the plant. It is not giving green color to the plant like chloroplast. It is giving different kinds of color. So In some, we have observed some of the parts of plants are appearing red in color, and some of the plant parts are appearing in yellow color. So these actual color are imparting by one of the cell organelle that is called as chromoplast. Clear? What is there in the chromoplast in order to give different color? So this plastid consists of fat soluble pigments. So those pigments are nothing but carotene and xanthophyll. So these two pigments are present in the chromoplast in order to give different colors like yellow color, orange or red. So these actual colors are giving to the plant by different pigments present in chromoplast. Clear? So chromo is nothing but color. So different colors to different part of the plant is imparting by one of the cell organelle that is chromoplast. Clear? So here you have to remember the kind of pigments. It is not giving green color to the plant, it is giving different colors like yellow, orange and red. So what pigments are present here in order to give these colors? It is having two different kinds of pigments. One is carotene and another one is xanthophyll pigments. Then the third one is leucoplast. So leucoplast is not giving any color to the plant, so that it is called as colorless plastid. So this is the cell organelle not giving any color to the plant. So this actual cell organelle appears in varieties of shape and size in order to store nutrients. So as I told, it is not having pigments to give color. So instead of that, it is performing the one more function in the plant, that is the storage of nutrients. So there are different types of leucoplast are classified based on the kind of nutrients stored in them. So one of the leucoplast is amyloplast. So amyloplast actually stores carbohydrate. So the best example is potato. So potato is the vegetable. So here we can see the presence of leucoplast in order to store carbohydrate. Then the another type of leucoplast is aleoplast. So the function of aleoplast is it store oil and fat. You take the best example of sunflower seeds. So sunflower seeds are the rich source of oil. So here one of the cell organelle is present in order to store it. That cell organelle is aleoplast. So aleoplast is the kind of leucoplast. It stores oil and fat. And the third one is aleuroplast. So the function of aleuroplast is it stores proteins. So the storage of protein is the function of aleuroplast. So these are the three different types of leucoplast can be seen in plants in order to store different kinds of nutrients. Understood? So there are three types of plastids we have studied in the plant. So here we can notice all the three different types. So one of the plastid is chloroplast. We can see in the schematic in the diagram. So that is given in the green color. So because the chloroplast contain chlorophyll pigment that give green color to the plant. And another kind of cell organelle plastid we have studied is chromoplast. So chromoplast gives different color to the plant, and that you can see in the diagram, chromoplast. Then leucoplast is actually colorless plastid. It is not implanting any color to the plant. Instead of that, it helps in the storage of nutrients. So three different types of leucoplast are there. One is amyloplast, another one is aleoplast, and another one is aleuroplast. So these are the three different types of leucoplast. Understood? Yes, let us study about the structure of chloroplast. Yes, now let us study the structure of chloroplast. So this is the diagram showing the structure of chloroplast. So we know chloroplast is a cell organelle giving green color to the plant, and this is very essential for the process of photosynthesis. So while studying this structure, let us clearly understand where actually the photosynthesis takes place. What are there in the chloroplast in order to help the process of photosynthesis? Let us understand about all these things. Yes, chloroplast is a double membrane bound cell organelle. So similar like a mitochondria, because we have already studied the structure of mitochondria. So there we have seen the mitochondria consists of two membrane. So here also we can see two membrane to the chloroplast, so that it is a double membrane bound cell organelle. So two membranes are there, outer membrane and inner membrane. Out of these two membrane, the inner membrane is less permeable. So permeability is the function of plasma membrane, right? So plasma membrane we are calling as a selectively permeable membrane. So the permeability of inner membrane in the chloroplast is very less. That means it does not allow all sorts of molecules towards the inner region, because it is less permeable in function. It allows only selective molecules to get in. And very next to the inner membrane, you can find the region of matrix, and that matrix region is named as stroma. You can find clearly all those regions in the diagram. So outer membrane, inner membrane, very next to that the matrix is present, jelly region, jelly matrix, that is called as stroma. And stroma is the place where we can find sac-like structure. So many sac-like structure can be found in the stroma region. So those sacs are membrane bound. That means they are having their own membrane. Understood? So those membrane bound sac like structures in the stroma are named as thylakoids. Clear? So these are the terminologies you have to remember here. So thylakoids are the membrane bound sac like structures. They are present in the stroma region. So thylakoids, many thylakoids are there. So those thylakoids are arranged one by one and form a stalk like structure. Understood? So that stalk like structure formed by the joining of many thylakoids is known as grana. So like how we join the one coin with the another coin. So when we join many coins, it form a stalk like structure, right? So in the similar way, many thylakoids in the stroma region, they are arranged one above the other and form a stalk like structure that is named as grana. So how many grana are there here in the stroma region? Many grana are there. So grana are formed by the arrangement of thylakoids one above the other. Clear? So the thylakoids are arranged in stalks called grana. So as I told, many thylakoids, they are arranged one by one and form a stalk called as grana. So each grana in the stroma region, they are connected with one another with the help of a connective link, because the function of thylakoid need to be coordinated with the adjacent thylakoid. So in order to connect the thylakoid of one grana with the thylakoid of another grana, there is a connective link can be found. So that connective link is nothing but stroma lamellae. So stroma lamellae is a connective link that will connect one thylakoid of grana with the another thylakoid of adjacent grana. Understood? So these are the main structures can be seen in the region of stroma. Clear? Then what is the function of this structure? What is the function of thylakoid? What is the function of grana? What is the function of stroma region? So these regions, the inner region consists of pigments. So if you see the thylakoid, the inner region of the thylakoid is named as lumen, because thylakoid is a membrane bound structure. It is a membrane bound sac. So within the sac we can find the region named as lumen. So that part, that means the lumen, you can find in the diagram, the dark green color surface in the thylakoid is nothing but lumen. So lumen is the region where we can find the pigments essential for trapping the sunlight. Clear? So the chlorophyll pigments are actually present in the region of lumen. So the thylakoid is the region where the light reaction takes place. So actually the membrane of thylakoid helps in the light reaction. Understood? So just understand here the thylakoids are the parts of chloroplast where the light reaction takes place, because the pigments are present here. It helps in the trapping of sunlight. So sunlight is one of the raw material for photosynthesis. Understood? So by trapping the sunlight, it helps in photosynthesis. And in the stroma also some of the pigments are present. So these pigments are helps in dark reaction. Understood? So the enzymes present in the stroma region, they are very essential in order to help the one more process of photosynthesis, that is dark reaction. Clear? So dark reaction does not mean that the photosynthesis takes place during night time. That does not mean like that. So dark reaction is just one part of photosynthesis that takes place in the stroma region of chloroplast. Understood? So there are two regions involved in the photosynthesis in case of chloroplast. One is the stroma region that helps in dark reaction of photosynthesis. Another is the thylakoid that helps in light reaction. Clear? So these are the few information regarding the chloroplast. And one more thing, very important thing you need to understand is chloroplast consists of its own genetic material, same like mitochondria. So it is having circular double-stranded DNA, and it consists of RNA, then 70s type of ribosomes. So these things in the chloroplast helps in the synthesis of its own protein, so that chloroplast does not depends on any other cell organelle for protein, because it is having its own genetic material and ribosome, so that it can prepare the protein required for its function. Clear? Yes, this is about the chloroplast structure as well as types of the plastid. Thank you.